Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Trust we are having a great weekend so far. I'm sure some of us must have gone partying or had one family engagement or the other to attend to, and some have been busy studying for one exam or the other, or just resting with the family. It's always a privilege and pleasure to be with us so that we can rub minds, share knowledge. Today, we have a very distinct personality in our midst. And just before I go ahead and introduce him, I'd like to say one welcome to him. His name is Mr. Gbenga Odetunde. Mr. Samuel Odetunde is an extremely busy man and also a family man. To our delight and excitement, out of his tight schedule, he decided to oblige us because of the passion he has for the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, because of the passion he has for professionals and capacity building. I'll quickly read his profile. Mr. Gbenga is the head professional standards and development. He also doubles as the acting head for learning and consultancy at the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. He is a creative taker with over 18 years cumulative experience in the areas of policy development, analysis and evaluation, management, and general HR consulting. He has specialization in standards development, knowledge management, socioeconomic and business research, curriculum development.
Open your spirit.
Okay, that has been taken care of. All right, as I was saying, Mr. Odetunde has specialization in professional examinations, planning and execution, learning and development, certifications and licensing. Gbenga holds a bachelor's degree in economics and a master's degree in research and public policy from the prestigious and distinguished University of Lagos. He's an associate chartered economist and an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management with a valid HR practitioner's license. He's also a PhD candidate at the University of Choice, the Premier University, University of Ibadan, and a member, registered one at that, of the International Organization for Standardization. He is a member of the advisory board of the National Open University of Nigeria. So when it comes to education, professional education, Gbenga is the man to meet. And with pleasure and excitement, I would like to invite him to please put on his video on mute so that he can take over about now. One more thing I would like to say. Thank you everyone who has joined. In my years of experience in this field, I've met many people who are practicing HR. There's one privilege we have, at least for now, till now. HR has very little entry requirements. You know, you may be a front desk person, maybe you spend time at the office, then they say, come to HR. While it is okay to come as you are, you should not remain as you are. I've also met quite a number of people. They've gathered experience, they've gathered exposure, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 5 years. And CIPM, seeing that they place value, not just on the ability to read, prepare, and pass exams, they also place value on our experience. Why don't people take advantage of this? To demystify the barriers that may be hindering one or two people from joining CIPM via the practitioners route and the executive route, we have put this together, and Mr. Odetunde has graciously obliged us. Please reach out to one or two people via your social media platform that it is time and they should join us, that the master is about to deliver. Please, with warmth and applause, with virtual emoticons, please let's receive Gbenga Odetunde, also known as GO, the only GO. CIPM. You are welcome, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, ECM Oluyemi Adeosun, MCIPM. You cannot call me at any time, and I say I'm too busy to answer my master. So thank you so much for the privilege. And to everyone on this call, I want to say a very big thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us to listen to the little things we have to say here tonight. We learn together, we grow together. When we are talking about certification of HR practitioners in this nation, CIPM cannot be, the importance of CIPM cannot be overemphasized. So we are here together to share experience on how we need to go and the way to go in order to join CIPM and become certified members of the CIPM. So just a brief profile of the Institute. CIPM was established as an umbrella association for practitioners of personnel management in 1968. And as at then, it was just an association. And in 1973, it was renamed as the Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. And finally, the Act 58 of 1992 chartered the Institute. And in our vision says, we aspire to be the institute of choice for people management. And our mission says we want to promote excellence in people management through value creation, optimization of human potential, standardization and regulation of human resource management. And we live by our core values. We are guided by our core values, excellent service delivery. We are creative in dealing with issues, and there's mutual respect. We respect our customers, we respect our employees, we respect all our stakeholders. Integrity is our watchword, professionalism, and we cannot do anything without a teamwork. That's just a short profile about the Institute. Now coming to the topic of the day, CIPM becoming a CIPM certified. I was told that today we are focusing on what we call experienced route. Experienced route has two branches. We have the people we call HR practitioners route. HR practitioners. So there's HR practitioners route, and there is a set of people we call the executive. So these people have never had anything called HR position before, but in the course of their career, journey, they have done so many things at the executive level. So they take decisions on recruitment, they take decisions on budget of training, they take decisions on so many things, the performance of employees and the organization, corporate performance. They take the entire responsibility or huge responsibility in an organization. So those ones come into the executive route. And there are people who want to become members through corporate membership. Yes, I am a member, I'm not an HR person, but how can I benefit from all loads of benefits that the Institute has to offer? Can I register my organization? The answer is yes. So there's still corporate membership. Then for the people who want to come into the examination, and there are people who are practitioners, but because of the unique benefits of the examination route, they want to come in through the examination route. So we'll be examining this one after the other today here. But whether the examination route, whether corporate membership, whether experienced route, you can see all roads lead to one thing: certification. You become a certified member. And when you become a certified member, you have become an authority in the field of human resource management. So because I was told the audience they are not the beginners, so to say. They are not the beginners, so I will not be focusing much on the examination routes. So, but in case we still have people who want to come in through examination route, please, these are the requirements and these are the stages, so the stages of the examination that you need to pass through before you become an associate. Later on, we'll be looking at the different benefits that comes with being a member of the institute, whether through the examination route or through the experience route. So we'll be examining all this very shortly. And for the HR practitioners route, we have a product that is targeted at the academia, because when we are talking about the supply side of the knowledge, when it comes to HR, we cannot ignore the relevance of the academia. So there is a product through the practitioner's route, like I mentioned earlier, experience route has two branches, the executive route, the practitioner's route. So the practitioner's route branch, there is still a provision for people who are in the academic setting. There is a provision. Please, if you have questions, you can put in the Q&A, you can use your Q&A button to insert your questions so that we can read when we finish and answer those questions. So use the Q&A button to answer your to put in your questions, send in your questions through the Q&A button. And as we go on, we'll be picking those questions one after the other. So like I was saying, the practitioner's route has or made provision for people in the academia as well. They can come in as associate member, provided that they belong to the cadre of graduate assistants, lecturer 1, lecturer 2, or head of department. So you can become members of the institute through the experience route as well. So they are recognized. The same thing with the military and paramilitary routes, so they can become members of the institute. For practitioners route, minimum of HND, bachelor's degree or equivalent, you must have demonstrated competence in core areas of human resource management, and you must have graduated at least over 7 years ago, and you must have acquired experience, post-graduation of experience of 7 years plus, then experience. Out of those 7 years, 5 years must be in HR or admin role at supervisory or management level. So if you have that, we'll be looking at different criteria very shortly to enable us see what that entails. So for the executive route, the same academic qualification, minimum of HND, bachelor's degree or equivalent, demonstrable competence in core areas of human resource management, maximum of 12 years post-graduation experience, 6 years core HR admin experience, 5 of which must be senior management or executive level, and in a cross-functional management role, There is executive for the people in the academia as well. Depends on the level of seniority. So from senior lecturers and above, you can come in through the executive route. You are going to be presenting the work we have done. You are going to be presenting the project you have supervised, and everything you have taught, the papers you have presented, the conferences you have attended, the trainings you have attended, whether you are the one delivering those trainings or you attended as a participant. So there is a provision for you. The same thing with military and paramilitary route. There is executive provision based on or dependent or determined by the level of seniority. Why do you have to join CIPM? What do you intend or what do you stand to gain when you become a member of CIPM. Number one, I've spoken about the examination route. So there are people, even though they have experience, they have practiced for years, for several years, they still opt for the examination because of the benefit, especially those people who want to travel out of this country. It serves as a point for them. It gives them a point equivalent of the points that masters is going to give to them. Master's degree is going to give to them. So they have that. The opportunity to participate in the ready to market. This again is for the people who come in through the examination route. Then you have higher earning potential because you see many jobs today, HR related jobs. They will tell you membership of CIPM. Membership of CIPM. So you may or might have known so many things. You might have done the HR end to end, where they say membership of CIPM is a must. Without that qualification, without the certificate of CIPM, though you can do everything, you look at the job profile, you see everything end to end as if they have looked at your CV to design that job profile. But without the CIPM certification, you won't be able to apply for that job. And there is, again, member job loss insurance scheme. This is for a scheme that is organized or formed for people who are in defense of Code 5 of CIPM Code of Professional Conduct. That's Code 5, paraphrase, says you endeavor to resign where there is conflict between your professional demand of your job and your professional requirements. So when there is conflict in defense of that code of conduct, it's called Code 5. It is number 5 on our code of conduct. So there is a landing grant for you. There is an insurance scheme that ensures that at least for the next 6 months, you have something to live on. Then there is HR Life Solution that gives you access to subject matter experts to give you free advice as a member of the Institute. You have free advice. We are using a WhatsApp platform for now, but when the technology transformation is completed or concluded, there is a platform, there is a segment of that solution that will tell you to ask the HR experts. So there will be different categories of experts across the HR value chain that you can ask questions, and they are going to give you answers to your questions with immediate effect. So CIPM will give you access to a solution to your issues on the go by the virtue of becoming a certified member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. Access to relevant tools and resources. So you can come today and say, oh, I want to have access to this. You can call me anytime. The first thing we do is, are you a member of the Institute? If yes, then are you financially up to date? If yes, then you have unlimited access to anything you ask for as long as it does not contradict any law of the land. Access to e-library resources, professional HR tool and resources is there. Excellent networking. CIPM has a network of over 12,000 professionals spread across the globe. So we are present across the globe. So you have access to them. Anytime we are doing anything, as an institute, you have access to this pool of network. And someone will say network, your network will determine your networks at the end of the day. Access to discounted career learning programs and events. So there are different programs of the Institute gives priority to members of the Institute, the certified members of the Institute. You have access to so many things, including consulting. So you have access to many of our programs or all of our programs at discounted rates, heavily discounted for that matter. So we serve as your support system once you are a member of the Institute at any level, whether at the corporate level or individual level. Higher earning potential, as mentioned this earlier, when you see jobs that you qualify for in terms of your competences. But something is saying membership of CIPM is a must. You know, you have been hindered, no matter how competent you may be, you have been hindered from applying for such job. You join the Executive League of HR licensed professionals. So when you become a member, a certified members of the Institute, there is a seal of the Institute that recognizes you and license you with immediate effect. So that license will sustain you for the next 3 years. After 3 years, then we reassess you. We're to renew your license. We want to see how current you are in the practice of human resource management. Then once you are assessed, is a minimum of 60 points. There are different things that give cumulative points of 60 points cumulatively that we are going to assess, and after which your license will be renewed once we can ascertain and establish that you are current in the profession. Continuous learning program for growth and development. You have access to learning at any point in time. You have access to that learning. You can learn almost every day. CIPM is spread across the nation. As of today, we are present in 26 states. We are present in 26 states, and those states, each one of them has independent programs that are very, very enriched, very, very rich, very, very supported, so very, very enhanced, even by the Institute, by the national body itself. We support them to develop their people. So you can have access to those learning without costing you your legs, your arms and the legs. So, well, let me pause here for now and see questions, because I want to attend to as many questions as possible that we have here today. Thank you very much for listening. Questions will be attended to. Thank you, ECM Yomi Adetunde.
Thank you so much, Gio, for that very insightful and brief session. I'm sure you've been able to motivate anyone who is still on the borderline as to whether they should join or not to join. And you have also showed us the alternative opportunities that is available for us. One question somebody is asking right now, Gio.
Okay.
Is it free to join? Can you give us an idea? Maybe some of us need to save or budgets, in this dollar economy. Can you give us some insight as to the cost?
Like I do tell people, when people come and say, reason for my developmental deficiency is money, I do tell them the first thing you need to do doesn't cost you much. And that first thing is for you to pick the phone. Okay, when I wanted to go to school, I picked the WAEC form, I picked JAMB form, whether there was going to be any sponsor or not. But I just have to pick that one first because that is a starting point. So for anyone, if you are coming in as a student member, all it costs you is 3,000 naira. And if you are coming in through the experience route, maximum of 10,000 naira for executive route. So it doesn't cost you the arm and the leg. Then after which you are going to be assessed based on what you have supplied, the information you have supplied. We are going to validate those information one after the other, and after which we communicate to you. If it is somebody that is coming in through the student membership route, for instance. So the qualification you are bringing in determines the exemption you are going to have at the end of the day. And so there's exemption fee that is attached to your journey as an individual. But maximum for the executive route, which is the maximum, you are spending, it's costing you less than 300,000. When you convert to dollar, a few dollars, okay, and you become MCIPM. So for the people coming into the examination route, it depends on your ability. You can write at once and pass and go through. So it will cost you less than that. It costs you less than that. The same thing with the practitioner's route. It costs you less than what the executive route will cost. So that's it.
Thank you so much. We already have 2 questions. Let me quickly take them before I go back to my own questions that people have sent to me privately. If Jendu says that I am already a member, but I have not been up to date with payments. What do I do? What do I do?
You know, it is very, very simple. Very, very simple. So all you need is to make your payments. Just make your payment, pay up to date, and start enjoying the benefit. In fact, if you check how much you are going to enjoy if you are coming for the international conference and exhibition, the 2022 international conference and exhibition, if you are coming, the discount you are going to get alone can pay your annual subscription for 3 years for attending that event alone. And there are so many other values that are in the pipeline. If you're a member, you will have received a mail from us recently that is stating the values that members will enjoy by the virtue of becoming, being financially active. Once you are financially active, we are working presently, and it will be unveiled by January 2023. It will be effective January 2023. Once you're a financially up-to-date member, there will be a list of hotels that when you enter, you enjoy discounts. There will be some shops that when you enter, you enjoy discounts. There will be some even filling stations that when you enter, you are going to enjoy some discounts. So how much is that subscription annual deal that you are shooting yourself in the leg because of? So it's not what not doing. So that's just it. You should pay your annual due, an annual subscription, as and when due.
You know, as recent as last year, Gio, I remember that the Institute even provided a window for some discounts, and quite a number of people took advantage.
They took advantage
of opportunity. Is one thing. Gio, let me just say this here. I've worked in 1 or 2 places, you know, where the organization was paying the annual dues of staff.
Yes.
For CIPM. Yet, I used to have colleagues that I'll be the one chasing them by November, because the organization will not pay in arrears. They will only pay current years. So, as early as January of any year, put it in your budget, quickly pay it and get it off. Bills don't get smaller. Okay, give it priority, give your personal development priority. We'll come back to the chat box. I would like to recognize Madam Stella. She's raising her hand. You have the permission to please unmute and engage with GO, please. Madam Stella, you have the floor. While we are waiting
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I want to thank you for this presentation now. It's very, very, important, and I'm enjoying it. But my question is, if I am to join through a practitioner route, like how long will it take for me to become a member? Let me, if I submit all the documents that I'm asked to submit now, so what is the next step? How long will it take me for me to?
Okay. Thank you. If you submit everything today, it depends. There are people who will submit everything. Of course, in the next 3-4 weeks, you have become a member already. So there are things that will determine that. Number one, completeness of your documentation. That is number one. Number two, nearness. Yes. Number two, nearness to the period of induction. So for this year, for instance, we had one induction in May, another one is coming August 25, another one is coming in November. Okay, if you complete your documentation and within 3 months maximum, you should be able to become a member. Latest, within 3 months at the latest.
Thank you so much, GO, for your response. Madam Stella, are you okay? Are you satisfied? Do you have any follow-up question or any additional question? All right, so we'll quickly go back to the questions on the chat box. But Gio, I must quickly recognize somebody on this call. Forgive me if I don't recognize you. Please, you can chat me up and I will recognize you. You know, sometimes we don't know everybody, so it's not out of disrespect. But I can see fellow Ola Aziz, PhD. Dr. Ola Aziz is a fellow of this institute and one of the people who have continuously supported this HR mentorship platform directly and indirectly. In fact, he is going to be appearing live on one of our mentorship sessions in the next few weeks. He's already a fellow, yet he's joining this call. And quite a number of people on this call today are here because he shared the flyer with them. We would like to celebrate you, sir. And we pray that God will continue to strengthen you as you support the Institute and the HR community in Nigeria and even globally. Thank you so much. Gio, back to the question.
Please wait to let me to recognize fellow Olaziz Ashiwaju. So is one of the people we look up to in this HR community. Thank you for all you do, sir.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, fellow. All right, let me quickly go back to the questions on the chat box. Mabel Olaoye said that from your presentation, sir, I qualify in the HR professional category. Where do I start from in the institute? I'm suspecting that maybe the CIPM, MCIPM, what category I'm suspecting? I hope I'm not misinterpreting that question.
Okay, there are different criteria for different membership routes. And let me see if I can share my screen so that we can see in terms of the requirements for each route of membership. Sorry, I'm coming.
If you have questions, please let's take the questions for me so that by 8 o'clock we can call it a wrap.
Yes.
Please don't withhold your questions. You can type them, keep them coming. Or any concerns or clarifications or challenges, maybe you attended this process in the past. This is a good window, please.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, you can see. For the practitioners, okay, for practitioners route, for instance, you can see the requirements: minimum of bachelor's degree or HND or its equivalent, minimum of 7 years post-graduation experience, not inclusive of the 1 year NYC, 5 of which must be in HR or admin practice at advisory or management level. So that one is there, and from different sectors, as we can see. So if you have that, then you are currently employed, occupying a position not less than supervisor or manager. Then you have demonstrated cognitive experience and competence in at least 5 of the HR value chain, then you have record of attendance of at least 5 relevant HR courses or program or other related management training in the last 7 years. 5 in the last 7 years, less than average of 1 per year. So I know many people will qualify for this. So then you provide all the referees, 2 reference details must be provided. That's all you need to become a member through the HR practitioner's route. So it's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. So if you qualify, if you have all these criteria, you meet all these criteria that I've mentioned, then you can come in. As like I told you, an induction is coming up in August 25th, to be precise. So if you are available, if you supply everything today, they are going to assess you. And probably if there's still a scheduled training, because there are levels, there are stages. There is a level of assessment of your application. For instance, if you are qualified, if you meet all the criteria, then there is a training, a mandatory training that ensure that the knowledge and the standard are standardized for everyone attending. In other words, that ensure that all attendees are speaking from the same page of the hymn at the end of the day. So you just attend that, after which you go for your induction. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Gio. We have another question here. Mr. Kinola Arigbede says, also, besides the payment for the application, are there any other financial obligations before being certified via the practitioner's route?
Yes, there are financial obligations. Take, for instance, there is the training that ensures that your knowledge about practice of different value chain of the HR is unified. You ensure that ensures that your understanding of the standard of practice is the same among all the participants. So there is a fee for that training, and there is a fee for the induction. So apart from the form fee, which is a maximum of 10,000 naira if you are coming through the executive route, so you pay for those training and you pay for the induction. But like I mentioned earlier, even if you are coming through the executive route, maximum that you pay is still below 300,000.
Thank you so much, Gio. We have another question here from Mr. David Oladipupo. He says that if the minimum for qualification is 60 points, maybe when they have evaluated the person's credentials and qualifications, what happens if I score less than 60 points?
Okay, so if you score less than 60 points, part of what that assessment does is to ensure that it identifies your competence gap, okay, and recommend the intervention. It will tell you out of these 60 points, you have 50 points. For you to complete your 10 points, you need to do A, B, C. So that recommendation will come to you, and you will not be required to pay additional payments apart from the form that you have paid for, until you complete everything, until you are qualified, before they ask you to pay for the mandatory training and the induction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Another question here from Mr. Kinola says that I have applied via the practitioner route, but was told my core HR experience is almost 5 years. In other words, it's not up to 5 years as at that time. Can I still continue my application once I now get that minimum 5 years experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You did not qualify some times ago. Now you are qualified. Then you go back. That's it. You come back and they will reassess you. If you are qualified, they are going to admit that we are going to admit you.
Okay. G.O. Bolanle James has a question for you, sir. She said, thank you, sir, for your presentation. My question is under E. I suspect when you showed that portion of the website, there was a segment for E. And the question is, what are the relevant HR training that is expected of a new person who wants to be a member of CIPM, and preferably in order of importance?
Okay. We do not, as far as the training are concerned, once it is relevant, HR focus or business focus, we accept it. There is no little knowledge or too much knowledge. Once it is relevant, it is really relevant and applicable in the field of HR and the field of business, then it is acceptable.
Okay, thank you so much. While we are still expecting questions, if you prefer to unmute and ask your question, please, you are very much welcome. But I need to say this here. Dr. Joy Onyechi says, I would like to appreciate my Oga, Dr. Lazis. He made me the doctor in human resource management that I am today. God bless you, sir. Dr. Lazis, I just wanted you to hear that accolade verbatim. Okay, a goldfish, they say, have no ID
place.
Okay. Income says, thank you so much for this rare opportunity. I have so much interest in HR. I intend to start a career in HR. I don't know how to go about it. I'm a BSc holder in marketing. So this most likely is not a practitioner school. Maybe the educational route, the examination route. You may want to speak to that briefly, even though you highlighted it earlier in your presentation. I wouldn't know if Nkem started the journey with us today.
Okay. There are people like that. We have a lot of people like that. We want to switch career from one profession and they want to become HR. And if you have never done anything HR before, the starting point will be for you to use your credentials, academic qualifications, professional qualifications. You come in and start through the examination. Because for the experience route, as we call it, experience in HR is required for the experience route. But for the professional route, which is examination route, so you come in, you apply, you don't need to be to have had prior experience in HR before you can join through the examination route. And the level or stage at which you start is a function or is determined or is dependent on your qualification, whether academic qualification or even professional qualification. Take, for instance, if you're a member of the institute that regulates your profession, your current profession, and that membership was by examination, when you send in that transcript of that certification, you are going to get a level of exemption that qualifies you to start from PE1. You just write PE1, PE2, that's all. You become an associate and you have been equipped with the foundational knowledge that will allow you to move from one career to another, switch your career. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gio. I like that fact that we'll have been equipped, because when we join, the learning still continues. We have continuous mandatory educational programs and things. So Dr. Joy has a question for you, sir. She said, the academics who are qualified do not want to apply for membership because the certificate is not used for promotion in the university. Please explain other benefits that will attract more academics into the CIPM circle.
Okay, thank you very much. As for the academia, we recognize the peculiarity of that particular sector. However, there is a musician, in this nation that say if you're a doctor, doctor as well. If you're a nurse, nurse as well. If you're a teacher, teach as well. When you are teaching, you are lecturing, you lecture with a difference. Part of what certification of CIPM brings to you is that it brings you as a supply side closer to the demand side. And that's one thing that CIPM itself is championing. We are trying to bridge the gap between the town and the gown as much as possible. We have seen that gap, okay? So when you are a lecturer, you will lecture with a difference because your understanding will be enhanced. Even when that certificate is not made as one of the criteria for promotion, it equips you into doing so many things that will accelerate your promotion in line with the requirements of that sector. I want to stop at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. If I could just add one or two things, even though I'm not the speaker for today, I would also like to say that, Doctor, you know that academics too do consultancy for industry. So in addition to your PhD certification, CIPM will give you additional help when you want to consult in industry. Exactly. They will know you have both sides of the specialization and you have a well-rounded figure. And of course, you are always welcome to join us. Just to also mention that CIPM actually has a journal where from time to time, members are encouraged to publish articles, okay? And you have respected people like Professor Fajano and co, who have led some of these initiatives published in these journals, which can be useful because publications are always useful for academics so that you can also see some other additional benefits and CIPM membership offers. And I think later this year, if I'm not mistaken, Gio, there is an academic conference,
academic conference,
collaboration with Leeds University. So you can grant papers there, you can, provide support there. So CIPM also directly and indirectly, ultimately enhances your academic qualification. You will know the relevant areas of HR and you can publish and you can collaborate. Thank you so much, Gio, for allowing me to chip that
Thank
tiny
you.
thing.
Thank you.
Just is saying, thank you, sir. I am new person fully in HR. I've been practicing in admin. And we have a lot of people here too who have done admin for like 10 years, 15 years. I know that sometimes, to a large extent, admin and HR can be interwoven, especially if you pay attention on the job. You may even be relieving people who are all HR person. She said, I need to access a training course fully in HR. Can you advise me which of the training I can go for? I am suspecting this person is asking for some information about our open courses. If this person is not a member, they will not have been getting those mails. Do you want to guide them on how they can access CIPM open courses to help them become more proficient?
Okay. Thank you very much. It's Yomi Adeosun. I don't want to assume that the person is a member of the institute. If the person is a member of the institute, then you can go to our website, or I'm going to put it in the chat room, the link to our training programs. You can see a list and you can take anyone that is there. However, if that person is not yet a member of the Great Institute, the CIPM, the person can try, just apply, because in many cases, there are many people who are not carrying the title HR this, HR that, even in their admin role, because we recognize that. And that's why you will see as part of the criteria, 5 years that must have been in HR/admin practice, because we know there are people who do not carry the title of HR officer, HR manager, HR supervisor, senior manager, HR. They don't carry those titles. But one way or the other, they have done HR. So just try and apply, look at the criteria, look at the requirement, try and apply. And through the assessment of your application as well, they will give you, they will assess and bring out some kind of gap that you have. They will bring it out for you and they will send it to you and they will recommend the training intervention that will close those gaps, they will recommend specific training based on the assessment of what you possess, your competencies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Gio, and thank you so much, everybody. We have about 9 minutes to end this session. Please, if you have any pressing, compelling questions, drop it in the chat box. You also have the privilege, you can raise your hand, we'll recognize you, and you will speak. Gio, like we discussed prior to this meeting, that some questions will come in that may not necessarily be under the scope of today's topic, but we will oblige since it's the institute. So somebody is saying here, sir, okay, that my question is on this is Rose specifically. My question is on the renewal of HR license. The last time we had a webinar with the president, that is CIPM president, sir, not Buhari, sir, just so that we are clear. The question to reduce 60% criteria to enable the renewal was raised. And information was that the body will meet with the panel handling that portfolio, that's on HR license, and will revert. Any information or update on this?
Okay, thank you. You see, there is a unique element of the institute that we need to understand. The point at any point in time that is recommended or that is recognized for any certification process is a decision of the governing council. The governing council cannot be meeting every day, so there are committees of the council set up to oversee different activities of the institute, including this HR practitioner licensing process. So it's part of it. So even though at that webinar I can recall very clearly, if somebody raised it, the issue, you know, I've been taken to the committee of council in charge, that is the education committee now. The committee is on top of it, meeting. However, in terms of this decision that will be taken at the end of the day, or the recommendation, there are certain things that will be taken into consideration. Is lowering the score going to lower the standard? Is part of it. Because the committee itself does not have the power, okay? They can only do the assessment, do the evaluation and everything. Then they have to kick back to the governing council. Once a governing council makes any decision, nobody can reverse it without going back to the governing council. So the committee itself, the education committee, we have to assess, look at the merits and demerits of that their recommendation. You know, there are recommendations that you want to take. By the time you put it on the paper, put it to pen and paper, you yourself, you can say, how can I take this? But they are looking at it. And if there is anything that they need to do differently, even without reducing, maybe by expanding the requirements that give you the points, is part of the options that they are considering at the moment. But as of today, that point still remains 60 until it is reviewed. And I'm not sure it's going to be lowered to 50, but I can see some kind of move in the direction of expanding the requirements that gives you that point, that give you the cumulative points of 60 points. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Over.
Just to expatiate in 30 seconds, it means that if there are 12 windows today that can help you get the 60 points, it may be increased to say 15. So your
15,
chances
exactly.
of getting that 60 is slightly easier without compromising on quality. We have the privilege and pleasure of having Dr. Ola Aziz speak to us briefly. Dr. Ola, you have the floor. If you don't mind, sir, if you can use video, I'd like to see your face, sir.
I will show you. I will show you later. Let me just make a little contribution. I must sincerely thank the big man from the CIPM. He has actually done justice to it. He has talked as a technocrat in the institute. Let me talk as a beneficiary of what is in it for you if you're a member of CIPM. I must sincerely thank the organizer, the entire people in the chat room, and know your time really worth what you are getting. And there's a time, value for time we are contributing. One of the first things you're actually going to enjoy, if you are not yet a member or you are still a member, but you are not yet there at a level that you can actually get things done to achieve or to get some benefit. Number one is networking. As a beneficiary of being a member of CIPM, my first trip to Canada was through a network I established through CIPM. My going to Canada was actually through CIPM contact, a network I created and established through CIPM. Not only that, I may not be able to count the number of job interviews I was able to attend, courtesy of being a member of CIPM on the nominal role of their register, and also being interacting with people that matters. Not only that, it prepares us to really get involved and get engaged. As I speak with you, I serve on Council of Governing Council of CIPM for 7 good years. And when you say Governing Council, that's the apex in the structure, in the organ of CIPM. And it's like a board of individual or different companies, either private sector or public sector. It really prepared me for leadership role. Thereafter, when I have come to interface with the board of different companies I work with, I actually got an insight through the foresight. I got the foresight through the hindsight I gained as a knowledge by meeting people across the value chain in the economy, oil and gas, manufacturing, services, finance, share, and what have you. Not only that, it also, for instance, I have flair for writing. I have flair for public speech or speaking. Through CIPM, I'm able to really, how will I say it? I'm able to really harness my potential to the fullest. As I speak with you, I've contributed over 40 different articles published in the Institute Journal, published in the Institute magazine. Gbenga happened to be my interface and my contact when it comes to that as a research person, expert in the Institute. Lo and behold, the 2 edition of Learning and Development Study Pack, I author it. Not only that, what I got from CIPM in developing my writing skill also made me to co-author a book that we recently launched sometime around June 29. Now, all this go a long way to let you know, and all those things I say I'm doing is not it's not on pro bono. And again, I'm also a faculty member. In the last 20 years, or sorry, about 25 years, I've been featuring as faculty member, leading training, presented at conferences, at both local and then the branch. So gentlemen and ladies in the chat room, you have a lot to gain. If I'm to do T account is debit and credit. I've gotten more than 1,000-fold of what I pay in as due or what have you. So I strongly recommend Chartered Institute of Personnel Management as the parental or as the parent institute. I belong to other 7, but the one I can refer to as my parent, the first I ever joined, that never made me to be the same again is CIPM. So once again, we have a lot to achieve. We have a lot to gain. You have a lot to accomplish if you happen to be a member of CIPM. And to wrap it up, degrees like pure water today, what stand you out among the magnet crowd in the labor market? What makes you uniquely different is your membership of a professional institute. And if your own choice is in the noble profession of HR, then it is a must for you to be a member. Joy, a very respected and senior lecturer in Lagos, University of Lagos today, that mentioned my name. We work together as a colleague in a Coca-Cola as HR. Today, when it comes to success, industry and academic, she will be rated AA+, not just A. So in the light of that, I'm recommending everyone to be a member. And if you're a member, make sure there is no break, no pause in your membership. Pay your due, attend conferences, attend the public lectures, attend things of this nature. And I must sincerely thank the organizer, because HR is so enormous, it's so vast, it's so wide, for only CIPM to promote and emplace the best HR practices. And that's why I have to thank them. Thank you and God bless you. I submit.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashiwaju Ola Aziz. We are blessed to have you with us on this program today, as always. And what a way, you can say, Mr. Gbenga Odetunde, what will he say? Is in quotes, a staff, even though he's also a member. But this is a free testimonial feedback from someone who has gotten 1,000-fold. What we have done today will not amount to anything if you don't take action. Please, if you have gotten value from this interaction, Monday is a good day to initiate your process, whether you have abandoned it in the past or you've never attempted it. If half of the people here join, we will all be better. How can I thank you enough, Mr. Gbenga Odetunde? Again, I do not take this for granted.
Thank you.
And I would like to say thank you so much for coming. And I would like to close with this song for your listening pleasure. Everyone, bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. See you next week, Saturday.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Ashiwaju.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Doctor in the meeting.
Summer, winter, autumn, spring, mountains, blue skies, and the sea, rainbows, sunshine, and the trees. Jesus, maker of the all. Jesus. Da-da. Summer, winter, autumn, spring, mountains, blue skies, and the sea.